Most people build their health backwards because they don't understand the power of the human performance pyramid. They usually want to go straight to the top of the pyramid, such as run stronger, lift heavier, maybe win the high rocks race, play better golf, or just in general have the anti-aging longevity strategy down. But what they don't look and consider is that their goals don't equate to performance. It's having a solid foundation. We understand how the body works. We understand how to actually get the body to perform. Instead of jumping straight to the top, we need to understand the layers in between and see where we can bridge the gap. It's no different than building a skyscraper. You're not going to build it on sand. You want a solid foundation. You want the building to actually withstand time, weather, and environment around it. And it's no different than your body. As we jump into this, we'll look at the five pieces when it comes to the actual human performance pyramid. The first pillar is going to be your ability to move. Movement's very powerful. It's understand the hand dominance pattern, where your restriction points are at, and what's limiting factor when it comes to the discomfort or the symptoms that you're actually experiencing. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an athlete competing in a certain activity. It's just you understanding your body and having the ability to live, thus the ability to be active. We want to look at the three planes of motion as far as what motions are your body going through, and then assess what are you not doing in order to improve the efficiency of how everything lines up. So you start to look at the musculoskeletal system as far as your joint movement, muscle flexibility, then you can layer in more of the strength and performance. As you start to move forward, then you can look at your actual ability to recover. Doing these activities is important because not only are the workouts going to facilitate you being moving as far as the strength or the power you want, but if we're not given the time, energy, and effort to recover, well, what's going to end up happening is you're going to experience the symptoms of any kind of discomfort, any injuries, or any limitations that's going to affect your actual outcome. You want to start paying attention to the type of exercise you're doing. How are you structuring your workouts throughout the week? Do you have enough time in between so that you're not constantly beating those muscles up, playing the game of the inflammation, looking at your diet, but importantly, looking at your sleep? How's the nervous system working? Are you able to adapt to your activities? Then you can go into health. This is where you get a little bit more specific. As you start to understand this is where people miss out. Sometimes they have no understanding or concept of how the foods they eat or the drinks that they drink relate to their symptoms, whether it's the inflammation, the speed of recovery, or just in general how you feel. This is really big for me growing up because I understood the foods that I ate affected how I felt going through school, but also how I felt during workouts or playing any kind of sports. So this is a very powerful one, especially if you're just doing physical therapy or any kind of physical activity, of how it's going to relate to your musculoskeletal system, how it repairs itself, and then the speed of the outcome that you're looking for. If you want to get more specific, this is where we start to look at the performance functional medicine, to where you can start to get more tailored into looking at DNA tests, looking at your blueprint, get more specifics as far as blood works, you're understanding what are the biomarkers that may be keeping you off. That way it gives a better assessment, a clearer picture of where you're at, then to get the result that you're looking for. As you move in from the health, you actually start to go forward now to where most people jump into, which is the performance training. Yes, we all want to lose weight, run faster, lift heavier, and be active and get the most out of our activity. But if you're actually training and you're jumping straight into this without the foundational pieces, you're going to be limiting your outcome. You're going to be limiting what you experience as far as how long it takes you to get there. You're going to have to work harder. This is why a lot of people feel like they don't get good strength gains. It's why they feel like they get injuries. And just in general, why they're frustrated with the lack of outcomes or lack of results because of what they're missing in between. So until you have these other pieces in place, it's going to be a very long road to actually get to where you want to go. And this is where we help you understanding the body as far as when it comes to the training side. Yes, that's the result you want, but what are the pieces there that are going to get you there faster? And that's as you move into the fifth pillar, which is longevity. All the pieces that you did putting together, moving forward. So as you start to say, yes, I want that result long term, it's not just saying one day I want to jump into longevity. No, it's saying I did all this over a period of time. I assessed my movement. I did the mobility, the functional movement exercises. I paid attention to my diet over a period of time. I looked at my recovery, my sleep score, improving the efficiency of how your body can adapt as far as the regulation of the nervous system from the parasympathetic to the sympathetic, and just understanding how you're playing the game. Understanding how your body actually presents is really what's going to give you the longest, I would say, attribute when it comes to your longevity piece, because that's what we're all here for, is to live longer. And that's what the human function assessment's about. As we start to look at someone's functional movement pattern based off their hand dominance, help to reset that, because you want to get back to the baseline. You got to look at the three planes of motion, understanding that it's important to be tailored toward your body, what your body needs. As you go through the functional movement exercises, you can speed up the process. Once you get to baseline, and then start understanding what are you doing for recovery. Yes, you can get more specific when it comes to modalities that you're jumping into. Don't just rely on tech. It's good to have wearables or do certain modalities, but if you're just measuring certain things but you don't understand why you're doing it, you're just throwing stuff at people. You're just treating the symptoms, and you want to look at the reason why things are happening. Once you understand how this is actually a part of your system, it's easier for you to move into I would say, more detailed on the health side of it, because then you got the genetic testing you could do. If you want more specifics, you got the blood work you can look as far as your labs go. But then you also know from a recovery standpoint, what does that look like to get the most on my outcome? What can I do to speed this up? Let's get more intentional with what you are introducing to the body, not just a modality because it sounds cool or it's trendy, but no, it's more specific. You can tailor it to what part of the body you want. Maybe it's at the cellular level. Maybe it's for a muscle or tendon. Maybe it's at the joint level, the skin. There's different parts of the body that feed off of how the nervous system can conduct, but more importantly, how you can move. And so as you start to layer these pieces together, it's easier for you to get the outcome a lot quicker. And that's true human functional performance. So as we start to bring people through this system, we can understand what is it that they need as far as where to start their baseline and how to speed up the recovery process. So as you're starting to go through this and you start thinking about it, ask the question is, when you're looking at this pyramid, you're looking at the 5 pillars: movement, recovery, health, performance, longevity. Where are you at? If the end goal is a longevity piece, then of course you want to start looking at what are you doing right now? What are you doing as far as missing? And when it comes to the foundational pieces, because again, if it's not a strong foundation, you're going to crumble and you're going to get these symptoms that everyone experiences over a period of time, which does lead into the aging process a lot quicker. So if your goal is true human function performance as far as maximizing and optimizing longevity, you want to pay attention to this. This is how you optimize the body, but this is how you actually get the actual result that you're looking for. That's true human function performance. How to move better, how to function better, how to perform better, how to recover better, and how to live better with longevity.